Now, to discuss the removal of fuel subsidy, we are joined by Muktar Mohammad, a financial analyst and CEO, Asheer Dynamic Solution. Thank you so much for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
My pleasure.
Now, so Muktar, it's common knowledge now that Nigeria has new prices of petroleum products. We've seen this in the official statement of the NNPC, despite provisions for subsidy till June end. Can you help us get a proper understanding of what exactly has played out?
Well, I think what has played out is that the President Bola Tinubu was emotional, and he said first subsidy will go. And then he didn't put a time frame to say, okay, it's going now or it's going next month, or he said provision was not made for him before he assumed office. But the outgoing president had made all of us know that provision was made till June. And so when he came up with that pronouncement, it caused panic buying, and then that's where we are now. And then they had to do what we call damage control. And that's why they had to come out and say, look, they now fix the price at 537 in Abuja. Some place, Port Harcourt is almost selling for 600, and Bayelsa is 511, and then Lagos 488. I think in as much as we all alluded to the fact that first subsidy should go, I think maybe the timing of his speech or what he said was very not the right time for him to have said such a thing. But then there's no right time for a good policy. I believe that subsidy should go, but then it's also best that if subsidy is going, you have to subsidize some things for Nigerians. There's no economy in the world that does not subsidize something for a citizen. So hopefully the president will come up and let us know what they'll be subsidizing for Nigeria. But I totally agree that subsidy should go because it's become a scam, whereby you say we are consuming about 66 million liters of fuel, and out of that 66 million, only 20 million is consumed in Nigeria, about 40 million are smuggled out of this country. And I don't understand how we can even consume up to that 20 million liters of fuel. It's only in Nigeria that year in, year out, the amount of consumption of fuel keep increasing. So even when the economy is not running very well. So for me, I think it's the right policy to go. I've always been an advocate of fuel subsidy since 2012. I think the time we missed it was 2012 was the best time to have removed subsidy. That time we have very good economic variable working for us. But like I said, there's no better time for a right policy. And again, at that time, 2012, they didn't think they would not be empowered. Maybe Bola Tinubu never even dreamed that he would become president.
Yeah.
It was his party that laid that protest of mobile subsidy. Now he has beginning to realize that subsidy was good, and he said it during his campaign. You must give it to him.
Okay, now, Muktar, looking at those controversies, I'm happy that you brought back the protest of 2012. It was a very big protest against the then President Goodluck Jonathan. We've also seen situations where there have been lots of controversies on this particular fuel subsidy, whether it is actually existent. Because in 2015, we saw former President Muhammad Buhari talk about the subsidy as being a fraud and non-existent. And now we're seeing new governments and even all the candidates talk about the removal of fuel subsidy. So let us really understand the impacts of this fuel subsidy and the so much controversies on whether there's actually full subsidy and if there's also corruption in the NNPC concerning this fuel subsidy that we're so much talking about.
I can say there is subsidy. I think when you look at the international price, and when you look at Nigeria still has the lowest price of refined petroleum product all over Sub-Saharan Africa. Even with our compatriots that are OPEC nation, we still have fuel still the cheapest. So you agree that with that, and our refineries are not working. So definitely there is subsidy. But then is there corruption in the subsidy regime? I think I totally agree that there's corruption in the subsidy regime. I don't believe that the amount they are saying is what we are exactly consuming. And again, it's not only that in the subsidy regime we are seeing this. We also see this also in even in the production of crude oil. We don't know how much crude oil we produce that are lifted out of this country. And again, we came to ask ourselves, well, what happened to the SWIFT deal that we have, whereby we give refined petroleum product to some of these countries that have refinery and they refine it back to us. So what happened to all those deals? Why are we paying so much on? That's why I think the subsidy removal is the right thing, so that we just face our market forces determine the price. But in as much as I believe that the timing, maybe the speech Yeah, he said it. I felt he should have just said that we are going to look into the subsidy payment. And we all, as Nigerians, knows that by June, they will be stopped. The outgoing president have told us that they will not pay subsidy. They would have been prepared for it. But again, I think the outgoing president, like you said subsidy was a scam, and he was there for 8 years, and he continued to pay subsidy. So it's different when you're outside, when you see some of those things. When you get inside, I think reality normally dawn on them.
There's been so much emphasis on what Tinubu said, President Tinubu said, and just like you said, they've said it before now that there will be a removal of the fuel subsidy. Now, we're seeing the organized labor saying that the timing is wrong, which you also talked about. And then on the other side, we have the Dangote refinery. And some are saying to cushion the effect of it, that the government should have waited for the Dangote refinery to be functional before talking about this removal of the subsidy. Do you also support this stand?
The same people that say that Dangote refinery should be functional before the removal of subsidy are the same people that are saying it's monopoly by allowing Dangote be the only one that is producing refined petroleum products. We must get the refinery working. To say organized labor have been the cause of the problem that we are facing now. If you look at Nupen, you look at Pengesing, they know that subsidy is introducing a lot of corruption because they are in the system. Ask anybody in the oil industry, we tell you that subsidy is one of the most corrupt schemes that we have ever run in this country. So definitely, I think we are missing over. Yes, Dangote refinery will come soon, but let's get it straight. Dangote will not be selling us buying refined petroleum product on Nigerian price. We buy this on international market, they will refine it. But the only difference that we are going to see in Dangote is that we may not be seeing those charges of demurrage, international water charges, or a lot of those things will change. So that will be what will bring down the price. And I think if you are putting it at 488 for Lagos, as it stands now, and if Dangote refinery comes into stream, and NNPC is able to make their own Port Harcourt turnaround maintenance concluded, even if they said that should have been ready in February, well, we are in May, we have not seen that yet. Then we have maybe 2 of the refinery. We create competition. And you shouldn't forget that NNPC is also an investor in Dangote refinery. So I think when we bring in that, we'll see a lot of competition. And if the modular refineries are now working, then we could see also price driving down based on the demand and supply. You could look at diesel price. Before now, diesel went as high as 900 naira. Today it's selling at 650 to maybe some places 650, some places 710. And so that shows you what competition can do. And why we've seen diesel come to this level, it is because most modular refineries are now involved in the production of refined diesel into the market. So that's what will happen in the petroleum sector in the long run. We may just have to suffer the pain for now, but I believe that when we begin to have more players, and the NNPC is now saying, I mean, the Department of Government responsible for giving of licensing say that individuals can come and take license to begin to import refined petroleum product. Because it stands now, NNPC is the sole importer of refined petroleum product into the country.
All right, thank you so much, Muktar Mohammad, for your candid thoughts on this particular situation. Thank you.
My pleasure.